Everybody, welcome to the Borough Council Workshop meeting for October 1st, 2025. We'll start with our agenda with our roll call. Call to order and roll call.
President Ferguson.
Here.
Vice President Jarrett.
Here.
Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Fagan.
Here.
Councilmember White. Here. Mayor Gerard.
Here.
Borough Manager Snyder.
Here.
Borough Solicitor Harper.
Here.
All right. We'll start with item 1, approval of the meeting agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for this October 1st, 2025 workshop meeting?
So moved.
Second.
I get a motion from Councilman Burns, second from Councilwoman Weiss. Any questions, changes, or amendments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Item 2, public input. If there's anyone from the public who would like to address council, we please ask you to step up to the microphone, make sure the green button is pressed, state your name and address and the reason for addressing council. All right, just wanted to make sure the invisible man wasn't here and wanted to speak. All right, we'll go to item 3, announcements.
Next council meeting, October 15th, regular meeting at 7 p.m. in council chambers. Conditional use hearing for 219 West Broad Street to be held October 15th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. The planning commission is scheduled to meet on Monday, October 27th at 6 p.m. in council chambers. Borough is scheduled to meet Wednesday, October 22nd at 8 a.m. in council chambers. Touch and Truck Public Power Electric event will be held tomorrow, October 2nd at the Borough office from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Curbside chipping is scheduled for Monday, October 6th. The Hatfield Borough offices will be closed on Monday, October 13th for the Columbus Day holiday, and leaf bag collection starts Monday, October 27th.
All right, any questions? If not, we'll go to item 4, the junior council person program. I'll turn this over to the mayor.
Good evening, everyone. I am very happy to say that tonight we will swear in our new junior council person, Giuseppe Gianna. Giuseppe is a senior at North Penn High School. He is the borough's 3rd junior council person. We implemented the program in 2023 in order to give the young people of the community the opportunity to learn about government. So I want to welcome Giuseppe aboard, and I will administer the oath, and then Giuseppe, you can take your seat at the table. If you would raise your right hand. Right. Repeat after me. I, Giuseppe Gianna, do solemnly pledge that I accept the position of Hatfield Borough Junior Council Person. I promise to attend monthly council meetings, observe Borough Council's meeting rules, abide by Council's junior council person guidelines, and actively participate in borough business. I understand that I cannot vote on any issue, and I cannot end the executive session.
I understand that I can any issue or attend executive sessions.
Okay, very good. Welcome aboard.
Family pictures?
Get trying to pick the sign.
Rich, do you want to do anything in front of the?
That's fine.
Yeah, here we can get out of the way. Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Same.
Y'all want to get in?
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
My ultra wide angle.
Feel bad, Rich is never in the photographs, right? So.
Do you want me to press the button?
He never wants to be.
Yeah.
Everybody with the camera.
I think he's been to camera, so.
Ready.
AI, right?
All right, Giuseppe, welcome aboard, my friend. All right, we will go to item 5, reports from standing committees and the mayor. We'll start with budget, finance, and labor. So we did meet tonight. We did talk through some of the budget. So the budget talks are ongoing. There are some significant cost increases because of the electricity, which everyone in the community is aware of. And we've talked about it for a year and a half now that it's coming. So more details to come. I don't want to spoil the fun on that yet, but that is something that we all need to get prepared for as well too. So and we still talked about having a meeting. What date did we agree upon, Jamie? November? The first meeting in November?
Meeting in November.
Yeah, well, we'll present the budget and start having the talks with all of council, the 5th. So. But in the meantime, if anyone has questions, reach out to Rich or I, reach out to Jamie. She can give you some details on that. So, but like I said, we're still going through the fine tuning of it as well. So. Okay. Questions? All right, if not, we'll go on to planning, building, and zoning.
Yeah, so we didn't have a meeting this month since the last month, but tonight under old business, we will be discussing one thing that we had been working on, and that's the rental inspection program. So that'll come up under old business.
Any questions for Councilman Burns? If not, we'll go on to public safety.
We have not met, so I don't have anything new to report.
All right. Any questions for Councilwoman Weiss? All right, how about utilities?
We have not met recently, and I think reported this time.
All right, oh, so
We don't-
I crossed it off.
Public work session.
Yeah, you're pretty minor in this whole. No.
We haven't met. We are meeting next week. And me and Larry did a walkthrough of all the parks. So we had a great experience going through each park, and we had some recommendations that we came up with. So it was a very good experience.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and got out there early in the morning, so we got a lot of people using the parks, walking dogs and people out and about very early. It was like 7:30. So they're definitely getting used, and we think, guys are doing a great job. We can always do a little better long term. So yeah.
They commend the public works group because they were pristine. They didn't know we were coming.
Mhm.
And so that was very good. And then we issued something to Borough Manager Snyder and Steve, the Public Works Director, a report just for them to look at and get some ideas. So we can use that later in the future for some improvements.
Okay.
Larry was complaining about the doggy bags being empty, and as he said that, Public Works arrived.
They pulled up, started filling it.
They were on the spot the moment he said it. So yeah, you guys do a great job.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
I know, just to highlight, I did get 2 different residents talking to me about what are we doing about the pond. So it's still a topic of conversation. So.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna have a little mini meeting after this to kind of discuss that in particular, and we're in the process of reaching out to the HOA and folks over there to see what we can do, so it is certainly in the works.
Okay. All right, any questions for Councilman Fagan? If not, we already covered utilities. With any questions for Councilman Gerard?
We committee met last Wednesday, and we had a discussion about the Fall Fest, which was very successful. Apparently it was quite a turnout, maybe even been a record turnout this year for the event. There was a discussion that was brought up about making a change in the trophy presentation. And what we're looking at now is doing a best of show trophy or total winner. Right now we give out 10 different trophies to participants based on voting done by the public. We were discussing about having a grand prize that would be based on the highest number of votes that were put in by the public. So that's a discussion, and we'll make a decision on that down the road. We also discussed about changing our meeting schedule. Right now, the meetings are actually scheduled once a month, but we really haven't had too many meetings in fact, we haven't had too many things to discuss recently. So what we are looking at about doing now is instead of doing it that way, we're looking about making meetings on a quarterly basis starting next year. That's up for discussion. We're still going through that. That's it. That's all I have to mention.
All right. Any questions from Councilman Gerard? If not, we'll turn over to the mayor. Madam Mayor, do you have anything for us?
Just a couple of things. Councilman Gerard and I attended the North End Water Authority anniversary celebration. That was a very nice affair. They had different stations set up and they had their equipment that they use and were willing to talk about, the process. So very nice affair. And then, this past Monday, several of the council people and myself and our new junior council person were taken on a tour of the new police station by Chief Tierney. So all I can say is, wow, what a great facility that is. And I think it's going to be, everything seems state of the art. It's going to be such an asset to us, to this community. So I want to thank the chief for his time and looking forward to having that open. And the only other thing I have, and maybe this should be when Councilman Burns gives his Hatfield 250 report, because I went to the presentation last, so I can wait till then. Thank you.
Go ahead, Councilman Burns. I know you want to talk about Celebrate 250.
Yeah, so we're gonna add that to the list, right?
To the agenda.
Go on, yeah.
It is on there.
Oh, is it?
Is it?
It's-
Yeah,
Oh, so-
after MCPC steering committee report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait till that. Sorry about that.
All right. Any questions for the mayor? All right, if not, we'll go on to reports and correspondence. Monthly investment?
Monthly investment report and cash accounts, through August cash accounts is in your packets. Just highlighting for the capital reserve, sewer capital reserve, sewer investment and electric, all positive for August. We will continue to look at the gain and loss versus disbursements on the last page. Seems, getting kind of close there, so we'll take a look at those. Electric always seems to be doing well, like I highlight every meeting, seems to be doing great. The investment tracking was updated. We did reach out to our provider. That was a typo at the last report. That's why it was like the negative red. There was really no other explanation they could provide. And again, looking at these, we're back in the positive for all our notes. We will talk about with budget, finance and labor, if we want to re-up the 6-month, which expires on 10/23/25, or if we want to take that money and, take it out of here and just leave it in our investments because it might be making a little bit more. And we might not be losing it. So that's a conversation that we can have. They always just automatically, if it's over 4%, just renew it. That's kind of what we've been doing. But there might be some ways, if we start to take some of that money out to make a little bit more on some other accounts. And I think, just looking at the budget might be helping if we can create some reserve accounts, to help us in the upcoming years.
Right. All right, any questions? If not, EITLST report?
The EIT and LST report was in your packets. I will go year to date through August for the EIT. We were at, actually, I'll do September because she included that. Year to date, we're at 464, 368. And in 2024, we were at 411, 880. So still projecting to definitely meet our 500,000 that we estimated for this year. I think we can probably increase that in the budget next year. It is increased for 525. So we'll continue to look at that. We might even be able to up it more for revenue. And then going to the LST through August, 38,718. In 2024, we at 48,677. We did seem to have a pretty good August. last year. It doesn't seem like September was that great. Kind of hoping November rears it up and we, meet our target, which we should, which is 40, I think it was 45,000, what we budgeted this year. So we'll definitely meet our target. I'd like to be over that and maybe we can bump it up for revenue in 2026, but we'll just have to see how the numbers come in.
I have a quick question, on the LSC, there were no postings showing here for the month of September. Is there a reason why there wasn't anything showing?
Yeah, so I looked at that and I didn't see any for September in 2024 as well. So I don't know if September is just a low month, nothing comes in. We didn't get anything from Berkheimer. I can follow up and ask Diane, but I didn't highlight it because I saw none in September the previous year. So I thought maybe September was just wasn't a great month and nothing came in. Like November seems to be a real good month for us. But I'll follow up and definitely check with her if she did receive anything for September.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Any questions? If not, monthly year to date?
Ready, sorry. The monthly year-to-date was in your packets. Still good as revenues outweigh expenses, 62% to 56. Expenses were high in August. If you remember, we had 3 KDC final payments. And then we also paid over 600,000 towards our debt payments in August. I think our bill list was like 1 million something. It was over 1 million. And then revenues for August, we billed and electric was pretty good. We billed 455. So that seems to be why our revenues are up. In August, we had a lot more usage. It's a hotter month, so got a lot of money for electric in August.
Do we have any big expenditures that are coming up that we know of?
We'll have our quarterlies coming up for HTMA, workers' comp, property and liability.
Okay.
So those will come up. I'm trying to think anything bigger. If we're gonna do polls, you spent?
Polls are done.
You're good. I try to think at the end of the year, he tries to save some of his line items for the end of the year for bigger expenses.
We're gonna have the tree trimming around the power lines coming up
Yeah.
by the end of the year, and a reimbursement to Hatfield Township for the 2025 paving that's gonna come out of liquid fuels.
Okay, okay. So it'll balance out those numbers a little bit more, so, okay.
Those are the big ticket items, I think, on my end for
Yeah.
my department.
We'll have coming in and going out debt payment. So it's probably gonna be around 1 million coming in and going out, but that will just be.
That balances it out, yeah,
So
yeah.
talk about it won't be, but it will obviously make an impact on what you see on the bill list, but you just have to know it came in and it's going right back out.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like what I'm seeing on revenues versus expenditures, so I think that's good. And we already knew Steve had already bought his poles, so that was already done. So. All right, any questions on the monthly year to date? If not, monthly zoning hearing board applications?
There were no new monthly zoning hearing board applications.
All right. How about the MCPC steering committee report?
So the Montgomery County Planning Commission steering committee met and we went over the proposed timeline of work, reviewed past chapters, really talked about economic development and summarized our walking tour, kind of looked at zoning and how maybe zoning would be impacted moving forward, kind of looked at placemaking and walkability considerations, like how we can make the town a little bit more walkable, do
Yeah.
some of those things,
It
right?
was a lot about economic development, I think was the main focus of it. So yeah, he shared a few statistics about businesses in the borough, and how we can try, to focus on certain businesses. The amount of people that eat out, both for takeout and for eating in, and they'll go outside of the borough for that, was they saw an economic opportunity in trying to keep people in the borough that live in the borough to eat here and stay here and try to support our businesses. Yeah, they talked about the placemaking and wayfinding specifically. I think signaging, like better signage for when you come into the borough at all the 4 main entrances and exits to the borough. Because the signs now are kind of small. And I think we have 2 or 1. Is there still 1? 2.
There's one on Broad, there's one
There's
on
the one on Broad
Main.
and there's one on Main. Yeah, there's one there and then
Yeah.
there's the one on Main Street, that real small one. So they thought we could do a little bit better, maybe something around that.
Okay.
And they did talk about zoning as well, specifically the core commercial district and how it's laid out right now. It's very like spread out, long.
Yeah.
Larry gave a little, or not, Ken gave a little background as to how he think that came about, as that they just kind of kept adding people's properties to the core commercial district. So they're thinking maybe like we want to review that and make it a little bit more condensed, like to where like the actual core commercial would be like downtown. That might be beneficial if our zoning's a little bit more accurate as to like the way the town is developing. So.
It might help us avoid things like, Hatfield Walk, the discussion of where somebody wants to do something, but it's zoned incorrectly, yeah,
Mhm.
so.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Councilman Fagan? All right. If not, I'll turn over to Councilman Burns to talk about the Hatfield 250.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we didn't have a meeting this month. There's gonna be a meeting either the end of October or the beginning of November. He wasn't sure what the calendar looks like for everybody. There was an event last night, and that was the Mayor Gerard attended.
It's called the Little Known Facts of the Revolution.
Hmm.
It was very interesting, things that I didn't know. A lot of things I didn't know. But it was good. It's good to hear and see and learn about what these people went through, what they had to do to come country. So it was good.
You forget how much history is around here,
Yeah.
like right in this specific area for
Yeah.
centuries, so it's interesting.
Quite a few historical points.
And just want to remind everybody, there's another event the end of this month, October 29th. Once again, at 7 PM at the Hatfield Township Building. This is the birth of the nation through the eyes of 5 prominent colonial American artists, and they're from the area. There's Benjamin West, John Singleton Copley, Charles Wilson Peel, John Trumbull, and Gilbert Stewart. The lecturer will be James Pagliaro. And that should be very interesting. So that'll be once again, October 29th at 7 PM at the Township Building. So that's what we have for now. There are brochures and things here at the Borough office that you can pick up and do this every month. As we get closer to the end of the year and moving into next year, there's a lot of events that are planned. So we'll highlight those so everybody can get a chance to attend. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilman Burns? All right, if not, we'll go on to our police department report.
That'll be available for the next meeting. Once defended, so takes a little bit to compile it.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming there's no questions since we have nothing to see. How about our fire department report?
We had a slower month this month, only 38 calls, but we're just one shy of 400 now, so. And next Wednesday at 6:30 is our open house for our fishing.
All right. Do we have those dates on our calendars? For the
Yeah,
open house?
yeah.
Okay.
I believe Mayor Gerard, Vice President Gerard, Councilman Burns, Councilmember Weiss are attending because we're having a borough table. So if you want to attend and you want to be there, they'll be manning a table. We'll give out some stuff like borough, informer information, that kind of whatever we can give. I think we were talking about, we could do like the MCPC survey cards, have those or something. We're just gonna put a box of stuff together for you, everyone to give out.
Okay. All right.
Jamie, just one, now that you mentioned that, to go back to that, did we get any Spanish speaking surveys in yet?
No,
Okay. is we targeted some of the businesses to give out the cards that we have because we noticed there were none in the survey.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any questions? If not, we'll go on to EMS.
There was no report in your packet.
All right, how about Public Works?
Nothing really big to highlight. It's kind of a typical September. Great job that Lindsay did for Fall Fest. I know it was already highlighted, but I don't think we could stress that enough. It was a great event. So that's it. Unless anybody has questions for me.
PMEA conference, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's a conference that Jamie and I go to, and
How was it?
it was good. It was good. A lot of,
Hershey, is that what it was?
Bedford.
Oh.
Always a lot of good, connections, conversations with other municipalities that face all the same.
Same rising cost
same
of
things that
electricity.
We deal with on an everyday basis.
They have that same issue, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah, everybody, yeah, across the state, across the country.
that's good you're talking to them.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Steve? If not, we'll go on to our engineer report.
Status report was in your packets. I'll highlight a few things. The utility replacement project is coming to a close. We issued the final payment. We're waiting for that reimbursement from North Bend Water to pay off the debt. I will have an 18-month maintenance bond in place with the contractor and, cracks, anything that comes up. So we'll keep an eye on those. But all in all, I think the project went great. Biggest project we've done utility-wise in the borough that I can remember in a long time outside the revitalization in 2009. And, building this municipal building. So I think that I can't thank the contractor enough. It was a great experience. I have nothing but good things to say. Hatfield Walk, foundations for units 1 through 4 have been constructed. The developer expects to have both buildings under roof by the second week in November and expects to have site work, mostly completed by the second week in December. So, final paving will be completed in spring of 2026. So that's the time frame that he provided. Same with 43 Roosevelt. They continue to do site improvements. They, intend to complete the foundations for units 1 and 2. In September, install sanitary connections. I know they've been working with Steve and getting a road opening permit for that. And, they'll continue to move along with, those townhomes over there on Roosevelt.
Any questions? All right, how about the zoning officer building code and property maintenance report?
Bob's report is included in your package. Just want to highlight, a significant amount of violations have gone out. I have the list, specifically if anybody has any questions about them. I told Bob, don't put the whole list on here. It was just a lot to write. So I said, I have a list if council, or the mayor would like to look at it to see which properties, received letters. And then we did cite a non-traffic citation for a 213 Jade Drive. They opened the road, which is under a moratorium, to complete a project. So, we're moving through that process.
Is there, on the violations, was there one that was the category that was the highest?
Outside of grass, because grass
Yeah.
was, I would say like just general rubbish,
Okay,
like around people's properties, whether that's lawn chairs, mattresses, all that kind of stuff. It's included as rubbish. I would say that would be the highest one, outside of grass.
All right, any questions? How about fire marshal, fire safety inspection report?
There's no report in your packet this month.
Pool advisor,
No report in the packet this month.
since the pool's now closed. right?
Taking some time off.
Yeah. All right, any questions? If not, we'll go on to the manager's report.
My report was included in your packets. It's very similar to when we spoke about 2 weeks ago. So I did just want to highlight an item of interest. So we all know we're dealing with this capacity issue for electric. It's not going to go away. And AMP has decided to work on like a capacity toolkit that us members will be able to use. So they have like an extranet service that they provide where you can log on, and it's basically like they encourage you to plagiarize all their materials. So like they'll put all everything, they tell us, like when they're like, please plagiarize, like they take AMP off and put Hatfield Borough on. So I'm looking forward to that coming online, because it'll be like a good tool I think we can use through this budget season and next year to kind of explain the rising capacity costs. I think sometimes it gets over everybody's head. There's so much numbers and data and like, why is this happening? Why is that? They said they were going to try to make some slides and information, kind of dumb it down a little bit to just kind of be like, hey, this is why this is happening. And this is why municipalities are seeing a $300,000 increase from year to year just to keep the lights on for everyone. So I was really excited when I attended the AMP conference virtually, and that was just something that they mentioned, and I thought it could be real good for, you know, the utilities committee to investigate and look at and kind of use some of these tools to help us, you know, tell the story of capacity and, you know, why our budget is kind of looking like it is. I mean, there's nothing that Hatfield Borough can do right now. So I thought that was really good, and I wanted to highlight that.
Will we discuss that at the next utilities committee meeting?
Yeah, it hasn't come online yet. So they talked about it, the AMP conference was last week in September, and they talked about it at the general meeting, that this is something that they really are trying to push and work on. I'm hopeful that they get it out within this budget season, because everybody was hit with the capacity again, because it hit the cap that the governor put on. And you know, for Hatfield Borough, it looks over $300,000 increase from last year just to purchase electric. So I'm really hoping they understand, and I think they do, how imperative it is for us to communicate that to our residents. And they can get something out that we can kind of, as they say, please plagiarize, that we can plagiarize and we can include some Hatfield Borough statistics in our usage, but, you know, just generalized comments to just try to, you know, get ahead and let people know that these things are coming. And there's another auction in December for 27, 28, so.
Madam Solicitor?
I just wanted to add one thing I noticed, in zoning world that actually impacts on this. Plymouth Township is looking at a data center
Hmm.
on an old steel factory property. Meaning they want to develop, not the township, but a developer wants to develop it as a data center, and you might have read about this. They are huge users of electricity.
It's like a whole city,
Like,
some of them.
Right.
Entire
like a
city.
data center they're building out in central Pennsylvania is going to reopen 3 Mile Island and use the clean half of 3 Mile Island and use all of the power for the data center.
Mhm.
So I just think this is going to be a continuing issue for the borough, and people likely don't understand it. You know, you don't think about it. You flick the light switch, as long as the lights go on, no problem,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so I just wanted to warn you that I just saw that and I was like, oh no, because that would be a big user of electricity very close to us and part of the PJM grid.
Any questions? All right, if not, we'll go on to item 8, new business and discussion items. We'll start with item 8, resolution 2025-14, recognizing Public Power Week.
So this is a good follow-up to the conversation that we just had about capacity. Recognizing Public Power Week, October 5th through the 11th. This is a resolution that we do annually that just highlights the value of public power in our community. It's great to be a public power provider. It gives us the control over our system. It allows us to take our dollars and put them right back into our community. We're not paying IOU salaries. Public power is great. And this just is a resolution that council always likes to do to honor and acknowledge public power. It also goes well with the Touch a Truck event that we're having tomorrow. We decided to have that tomorrow because North Penn School District is closed. So it's a good day that if you're free and you're available to come. Public Works made some good interactive, you know, things kids can do. We're gonna have some scavenger hunts, just kind of let the public know about public power and just kind of try to educate them in a fun way. And it's on for consideration as an action item this evening.
All right, any questions? How about item B, resolution 2025-14, recognizing Fire Prevention Week.
This resolution recognizes National Fire Prevention Week, which is October 5th through the 11th. It recognizes the important work that firefighters do in educating and protecting the communities of this nation. This resolution highlights the Hatfield Volunteer Fire Department and its service to the Hatfield community. And it's on for consideration as an action item this evening. And can be presented at the, if adopted, could be presented at the open house.
All right, any questions? If there are none, we'll go to item 9, old business. We'll start with item A, ordinance number 559, amending chapter 5, Code of Ordinances for the residential and non-residential property inspection programs.
This resolution was on for discussion at the September workshop regular meeting. Nothing's changed in it. It's just basically, as we talked about before, separating the residential rental inspection program from the fire safety program. And fire safety is going to focus on commercial, industrial, institutional. It just cleans it up a little bit. We still have the program. We're still charging the annual registration and the inspection fees. It's just kind of creating a separation in language between those two. So it's not like we're double dipping and charging people two things for the same inspection. It just cleans it up a little bit. And there is a public hearing to consider this ordinance at the next meeting, October 15th at 7 p.m.
Councilman Burns, were you gonna? Oh, I thought you wanted to say something.
No.
Okay.
Drinking water.
Oh. All right, any questions? If not, we'll go to item B, ordinance number 560, amending chapter 10 of Code of Ordinances, weeds and other vegetation to regulate bamboo.
Yeah, sure.
She changed it. I did change it a little after the last discussion on this. One thing that I was concerned about was, and I'm sure you saw this also. Jamie sent out a little booklet about DEP rules regarding stream banks. The borough owns a stream bank and it has bamboo on it. And the stream bank says when you cut landscaping near your stream bank, don't touch the roots. That's the way I read it. You know, you may read it differently, but it requires different permits. And that makes a lot of sense because the vegetation along the stream bank is holding the mud in. And if you dig it out, then the mud's going to go into the water and flow downstream and create a lot of problems. Okay. So one thing I added here was that I added language saying unless removal of the bamboo violates a state law or restriction. I added that to this. So I'm very good. Thank you. I did put that in here because I thought, you know, we're gonna have to make a decision about that. And I also cleaned up some of the language regarding when you have to do these things. And if you pass it this year, they'd have a whole year to bring it into compliance. They'd have to not plant any at all right after it becomes effective. But for properties that already have it, they have a year to come into compliance because it's really hard to get rid of. And we'd have to decide whether we wanted to spend the money to get the permits to take out the roots on the stream bank or deal with it some other way, maybe putting, you know, cutting it down to the bottom and then putting some kind of fabric over it, for help here, that would keep photosynthesis from allowing it to grow. I don't know what else we could do. But if you take the roots out, you're gonna need special permits. And it's gonna be expensive.
So
How much does that typically run for those permits?
I don't know. We have to get the engineer to apply for them. We probably have to get a specialist to help us with it. You know.
For some reason, I'm thinking it was like 15 grand, 10 or 15 grand, so.
Say between 10 and 20 grand.
Yeah.
My best guesstimate.
engineers involved and
Yes,
everything
yeah.
else.
Cause we talked about other things in the past and that's why.
Event stabilization permits, which would basically be very similar, 10 to 20 grand.
I think in one of your notes that you sent us, Jamie, you said, Bob had gone around and there's currently 2 that we're aware of.
Correct,
In
yes,
the borough, 2 places.
yes. Bob went around, there are 2 places in the borough that he found it. He actually sent another gentleman around as well. So 2 times they went around and looked, still the same 2 properties. And one of those properties is Hatfield Borough out here.
And where's the other one?
The other one is on Talmenton Avenue next to the main hotel.
And is that a large plot? Do you know?
Maybe a half an acre property, but maybe.
Oh,
it's
no, I
more.
meant the bamboo.
Oh, it's the entire backyard.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Wow,
Isn't
okay.
it going into his neighbor's yard?
Yes.
One thing that, I know you were talking about, the bank down there by the creek where you really can't disturb the soil by digging up the roots. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's some sort of a specialized herbicide that they use that you can put down, which would not disturb the soil, but would take the roots to kill them off specifically. So, but that's something we'd have to look into with.
Right, we have to make sure that that was okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it kills the roots, it may open us to erosion.
All other things.
So
Well, no.
Good idea.
Well,
It's not, if it kills the roots, it's not going to disturb the soil.
Right,
Okay.
but it's gonna kill what's holding the soil in place.
But if
That's where we'd have to.
Yeah,
talk
but
to
you're not digging
specialists.
it out.
yeah, it's not as bad as digging it out, I think is the point that Councilman Gerard is saying.
one place that
Contamination could be.
stuff like that is Penn State Extension Service.
Mm-hmm.
They have a website and they often, they will answer questions. So maybe we should contact Penn State Extension Service and see. Oh, we could do it. Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea. If we could do it with an herbicide that was legal to use that close to a stream.
Right,
Yeah, we got a lot of bad choices, I think.
yeah.
We've gotta make the best of the worst bad choices.
Right, and it's on the, it's on your action items to consider whether you want to advertise it for the next meeting. This is a police power, we were talking about that earlier, this is a police power ordinance, so it only requires 1 week. But, so if you wanted to do it at your meeting on the 15th, you would have to vote to, advertise it tonight, so that I had time to get it in the North Carolina Reporter, in time. So think about it, or whether or not it needs other changes, because it is listed as an action item tonight, and like I said, I made small changes to give people time to take it out, they've already got it a year after the effective date, and secondly, unless doing so conflicts with state laws and regulations, because right on the creek it might.
Can we postpone it? Cause I know we talked about reaching out to Penn State or the state of Pennsylvania. Let's get some more information before we. The one question I was gonna ask too, since we're only talking about 2 properties, one of them being ours. Really, I mean, we talked about this as a preventative measure, right, for the future. Is it something that we need to think about doing now, or is it something that we can postpone? I think it's a question worth asking once we figure out what the maintenance of it's gonna be on the water line. Or in the watershed or, in the stream bed. Because if it's gonna cost us additional money, it's something we might want to think about postponing, since really, like I said, we're the main offender of this, so.
Well, the good news for us is, no one's complaining about it, right?
Right,
So
right.
the gentleman came here. brought it up.
Yeah, somebody.
It was all brought up by the public
Yeah,
comments.
'cause his neighbor-
and about the bamboo.
Well, it's his neighbor, but that's really a problem, whether it's bamboo or anything, it would need to get taken care of, right? So.
Is he a neighbor of the one?
Yes, he's the owner of the main hotel,
Oh,
and the property is next to the main hotel.
So I think the main question is, are we going to require people to remove bamboo, all the bamboo that's already existing or not? Or do they have to contain it to the parameters that we set out here? I mean, that's the question, right? I mean,
exactly.
when I envisioned it, I didn't think people would have to remove everything that was there, but is that what we envisioned? I don't know.
Maybe what we could do is grandfather in the ones that meet the.
As long as it
requirements.
doesn't spread, right? Like they had to
Right,
prevent it
but
from
you
spreading.
can't put any new
Correct.
plantings in any place.
Yeah, like could we just remove the section that even refers to existing bamboo? Like just take that out, the whole thing, number 3?
If I remember
Remove everything
correctly,
else?
we talked about it, but part of the thought is how do we determine who had it, who didn't?
Yeah.
And so the thought of giving people a year to get it taken out basically deals, it eliminates the question of did they already have it in place or not, right? And I think that's why we talked about that originally.
We can just catalog where it is in our records and know who had it as of the date we passed it, considering it's only 2 properties that we know of. And then otherwise, I mean, it's gonna have to be reported either way for a violation when it happens, so I don't know. I feel
We
like
might have to rewrite C1. Bamboo shall not be planted, maintained, or otherwise permitted to exist within 40 feet of the edge of pavement or traveled portion of a public or private road or sidewalk in the borough, or within 40 feet of a property line of any borough or public property, or 25 feet of any property line of an adjoining or neighboring property. So we'd have to change.
Based on those numbers, it meant that they'd have to get rid of it
They'd
regardless,
have to-
right? Given the property sizes, so.
Could you write into that for the existing, that they have to maintain what's there and it can't spread beyond those numbers? So that,
That wouldn't solve the problem of the gentleman who doesn't like his neighbor's bamboo, coming across the line, right?
What about,
We could write that, but it wouldn't solve the problem we're attempting to solve.
what about, adding in that section also about the fact of the bamboo we've got here on the creek bank? If, we say something similar to, except for an area, under control of the state EPA where it would affect water quality or something like that.
Well,
You have
that's the
that-
language I added. I
Yes.
added on page 5.
Yeah.
Unless you have to remove it within 1 year. And I added this language, unless doing so conflicts with state laws and regulations.
That would cover so that we
I
could
was
just
thinking that would
more or
cover.
less,
our
that would be an out
stuff
for us, we wouldn't have to do that, but,
yeah, I don't know if we want to do that. We don't want to give us an out,
well,
but not another person, the only other person that has it, that looks pretty crappy.
The other way you could deal with it, although it's probably a good idea to prohibit people from planting. it,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
Correct.
So that we don't get into.
And letting it
worse problems.
spread, and letting it spread.
And
Like,
letting
that
it
was, that is
spread.
the issue, is that it's spreading into other people's, property.
Right.
Right.
So as long, I mean, maybe you could lower these numbers within, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet, something that could keep, somebody could theoretically keep what they have in their property. Well, they couldn't plant it. I guess we are only talking about really 1 property at this point, or
Right.
2, but.
Or 2, right?
Can you say something like, he has to maintain that it doesn't go to adjoining properties, something to that? So. that
Well, I
we
think
have-
that's
Maybe we should
in
just get
general,
rid of it.
right? That's,
general.
yeah,
Well,
so,
the way the law works is if you have a tree
Right,
and the branches grow over the property line, your neighbor can cut down those branches
Right.
on his side of the line.
right.
That's law. They
Right.
can do that. The problem with bamboo is it just,
Underneath.
goes under.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really hard to stop,
Well-
unless you have a rule saying you can't have it.
Yeah.
well, I think, and I'm curious to see what council thinks. But, maybe this is a situation like we did with bees and other things. Maybe we get some experts in to talk about it. And we get some more background on it, right? We're not in a hurry to get this done. So why don't we take some time to understand it better?
Yeah, I don't.
If you
think-
guys are open to that.
I agree. I don't think we can move forward with advertising until we have a better picture.
Yeah.
All right, so we can table the advertising, but I think I'm gonna contact Penn State Extension Service and see what they tell us.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Yep, thank you.
Because I do know other townships that have this. And they get complaints. My neighbor's got bamboo, and then they gotta run out and cite the neighbor and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we don't actually have as big a problem here.
Right.
I think-
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't know that there's a sense of urgency to try and do something immediately on it. Let's take some time and research it. So,
Right.
yeah.
Get right.
I thought of another possibility too, but I don't know that whether it would help if the borough did this or not. Maybe the borough could talk to the offending property owner, saying, hey, we got complaints at the borough about your bamboo. We're considering a bamboo ordinance. And you limit it. Maybe we could talk them into it. A lot of times neighbors complain to us and they don't
Yeah,
even
talk
tell
to them, yeah.
True.
the person that they're complaining about that. They don't want to get into a fight with them. So
Maybe explain
tell
to,
them, you know,
maybe explain.
We'll just
to 'em-
tattle to the borough and then.
Maybe explain to them that if they do that, in the long run, they're gonna save themselves some costs because we're considering an ordinance that would require you to take it out which is
Right.
gonna be costly.
And the other thing
know,
is,
give him a little
no, no, Jamie doesn't look like she wants to call him, but
I was gonna say, who's the borough
Yeah.
person calling?
We can talk about that in executive session.
okay, all right, that's the other possibility, because in one sense, it can be considered a trespass.
Yeah.
My bamboo grown on your yard.
Yeah.
Is me trespassing on your yard,
Mhm.
that's possible, but that would require the property owners to sue each other, so. And they're gonna be reluctant to do that.
Yeah.
They want us to do it. Just saying, so,
Okay.
all right, when we get to that action item, maybe we table it for now, get a little more information, see if there's anything else we can do.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. If there are no questions, we will go to action items. We'll start with item A, which is what we were just talking about, tabling for now.
Devil.
The devil bamboo. So we'll go to item B, motion to consider resolution 2025-14, recognizing Public Power Week. Can I get a motion?
Second.
I got a motion from Councilwoman Weiss, second from Councilman Fagan. Any questions, amendments, or changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. Item C, motion to consider resolution 2025-15, recognizing Fire Prevention Week. I get a motion from Councilman Burns, a second from Councilwoman Weiss. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. We will be having an executive session to talk about personnel, litigation, or real estate. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Councilwoman Weiss, a second from Councilman Gerard. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.